had to say.
Well, first of all, I missed you guys. Genuinely hope everyone had a great offseason. There is something that I wanted to address, and I only plan on addressing it once. So if we continue to get asked about it, we will refer to this moment in time, or we will use this time to deflect and talk about our teammates.
Watch that finger wag. That's not confidence. That's someone trying to control a narrative that's already spiraling. Paige Bueckers just told the entire sports media world she'll only address her relationship with Azzi Fudd once, and if they ask again, she'll deflect. But here's the problem with that strategy. You can't make your private life public, then demand privacy when the questions get uncomfortable.
Azzi Fudd, about a few weeks ago, got asked about her relationship with Paige Bueckers. The PR team for the Dallas Wings stepped right in. No! Don't ask her those questions. We're not going to answer that. Big story. Today, Paige comes out, addresses it. Fair enough. She addressed the elephant in the room. But to wag your finger and demand that this never gets brought up again, not exactly sure if that's going to.
Let's establish the timeline here because context matters. Paige and Azzi didn't get outed by paparazzi. They weren't caught by some tabloid photographer. They chose to go public at the WNBA draft, stepping out together. They posted TikToks together. They appeared at the All-Star game as a couple. And then, when Azzi got drafted #1 overall to Dallas, the same team Paige plays for, people started asking obvious questions about whether that relationship influenced the front office decision. A few weeks ago, Azzi was asked about the relationship during media availability. The Dallas Wings PR team immediately shut it down. No questions about that topic. Fair enough. Teams protect their players. But then April 27th rolls around and Paige decides she's going to address it herself. Except she's not really addressing it. She's delivering an ultimatum.
Is nobody's business but our own.
Then why do you put it out there for everybody to see? If it's nobody's business but your own, then how come you guys are making it public information? How come you guys are putting out there in the pub? If it's private, then why are you making it public? You can't have it both ways. If it's private, then keep it private. If it's public, then it's public, and you guys have already made it public. It is what it is.
But
Nobody's business but our own. That line right there reveals the fundamental disconnect. When you're a public figure dating another public figure, and you publicly announce that relationship, and one of you potentially influences draft decisions to keep you together, that's not private anymore. That's a legitimate story about how WNBA teams operate, about potential conflicts of interest, about whether player relationships impact franchise decisions. Think about this in any other professional context. If two executives at a Fortune 500 company were dating, and one of them influenced a major hiring decision to bring the other person to their division, would that be nobody's business? Corporate America has entire HR departments dedicated to preventing exactly this kind of situation, because it creates obvious conflicts of interest.
Whoa, wait. So how long has this been going on? How long has this little thing been going on? Like, what year at UConn? Like 2022? Earlier than that? Later than that? How long is it? You're talking like this has been a... Okay.
That's what we continue to do. And I'm not entirely sure if this is new to media members.
Now here's where Paige's argument really falls apart. She claims they've always been the most professional and never let anything off the court affect what happens on the court. But she's also admitting this relationship has been going on for years, potentially dating back to 2022 or earlier based on her comments. So we're supposed to believe that for multiple years, these two have been dating, keeping it quiet from media, maintaining perfect professionalism, and then suddenly decided to go completely public right before Azzi enters the draft. The timing is what makes this suspicious. Why go public right before the draft? Why make the relationship known to everyone right when Azzi's about to find out which team selects her? Because they wanted to send a message to front offices. We're a package deal. And Dallas, sitting there with the worst record in the league and the #1 pick, took the bait.
Teammates dating is new to media members. Yeah, so guilty. I'm guilty over here. Teammates dating is new to me. It was new to me Caitlin Clark's rookie year. It was new to me last year. It's still new to me this year. It's all new to me.
Yeah, to new people who are watching the WNBA, or women's basketball in general, but me and Azzi are not new to this.
Damn! Y'all ain't new to this. Oh no. Oh no. Only in the WNBA.
Azzi Fudd was a #1 draft pick because she earned it. That might be the most transparent lie in this entire press conference. Let's be brutally honest about Azzi's college performance. She's a talented player, absolutely, but #1 overall, the top prospect in the entire draft class, Azzi struggled in postseason play. Her scoring efficiency dropped significantly in high-pressure games. Multiple scouting reports questioned her ability to create her own shot at the professional level. And yet Dallas, a franchise desperate for talent after finishing dead last, used their most valuable asset, the first overall pick, on a player whose biggest selling point was that she's dating their star player. Compare that to other recent #1 picks. A'ja Wilson was the consensus top prospect in 2018, dominant college career, national champion, player of the year. Sabrina Ionescu in 2020, historic college stats, clear franchise player potential. Aaliyah Boston in 2023, defensive anchor, proven winner, immediate impact player. What's Azzi's equivalent resume? Being Paige Bueckers' girlfriend.
Wow, so stunning and courageous and brave of you, Paige. So courageous and brave of you to come out and say, don't ask me about it again. Me and AZ, we've been doing this. You know, we're not new to this. We've been doing this for a few years. You know, we've been doing the hanky-panky behind the scenes. Hey, come to my dorm, do the hanky-panky, go to practice. Come back, do the hanky-panky, go to a game. Come back, do the hanky-panky, go get lunch. Come back, do the hanky-panky, and repeat. Go to the training center, come back, do the hanky-panky. We're not new to this. We've been doing this. We've been doing this. Only in, I can't even say only in the WNBA, only in women's basketball.
Here's what makes this whole situation particularly problematic for the WNBA. This isn't the first time teammates have dated in this league, not even close, but it's the first time a relationship has so obviously influenced a draft decision at the very top of the board. And Paige standing up there wagging her finger telling media they can't ask about it, that's not protecting privacy, that's trying to avoid accountability for a decision that potentially damaged Dallas's rebuild. Think about what Dallas gave up by drafting Azzi first overall. They could have taken a dominant post player. They could have selected a point guard who actually runs an offense. They could have traded the pick for multiple assets to build around Paige properly. Instead, they took Paige's girlfriend, and now Paige is telling everyone to stop talking about it. The WNBA has serious credibility issues it's trying to overcome. Attendance is inconsistent. TV ratings fluctuate wildly. The league is fighting for respect and legitimacy in the broader sports landscape. And then you have situations like this, where it appears a franchise made a major personnel decision based on keeping a player's romantic partner happy rather than pure basketball evaluation. That's not a good look.
Again, no, I challenge all media members. As soon as they have a bad game, as soon as one or the other has a bad game and the chemistry on court doesn't seem to be clicking, I encourage all of you, ask questions, see what's going on. Is anything happening behind the scenes? Are you guys okay? Is everything all right? No funny business going on. You guys are still together. You guys are still cool. Did somebody not heat up dinner? Did somebody not wash the floor? Did somebody not do laundry? Did you not fold the laundry? Did you not iron the laundry? Did you not put it away? Is it still sitting in the hamper? What's going on? I encourage all media members to ask those questions. I mean, Paige Bueckers, the worst team in the league drafting a player who cannot score in postseason play is news.
Let's talk about what happens next, because Paige seems to think this press conference closes the book on this topic. It doesn't. If anything, it opens up more questions. What happens when Dallas struggles next season? What happens when Paige and Azzi's on-court chemistry doesn't translate to wins? What happens if May, and this is the elephant in the room that nobody wants to acknowledge, what happens if they break up? You think the media is asking uncomfortable questions now? Wait until there's actual tension between them. Wait until one of them has a bad game and reporters want to know if there's off-court drama affecting performance. Wait until trade rumors start circulating and people wonder if Dallas can actually move one without losing the other. Paige mentioned they'll deflect and talk about our teammates if asked about the relationship again. That's not a sustainable media strategy. That's avoiding legitimate questions about team dynamics, decision-making processes, and whether this relationship creates complications for the franchise. Professional athletes don't get to pick and choose which questions are acceptable. They can decline to answer, sure, but acting like the questions themselves are inappropriate, that's delusional.
You both are public figures. You don't get a free pass anymore. Very true. You guys aren't little college kids anymore getting coddled. You guys aren't college kids getting coddled anymore. You're now in the big leagues. You're in the WNBA. You guys are getting paid like professional athletes. So, it is what it is. You're going to have to deal with the tough questions, and you're not going to be able to dictate what the media asks you. You can choose not to answer the questions. It's your prerogative, but you can't determine and choose and pick what the media is going to ask you. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like the video, hype the video, and
here's the broader issue this situation exposes. The WNBA has normalized workplace relationships to a degree that would be completely unacceptable in most professional environments. In the NBA, if a star player pressured his team to draft his girlfriend, it would be a massive scandal. There would be investigations into tampering, conflicts of interest, potential violations of league policies. But in the WNBA, the reaction from longtime fans and media has been, oh yeah, this happens all the time, that's a problem. Not because people shouldn't be allowed to date who they want, that's not the issue. The problem is when those relationships influence basketball decisions, and then the people involved act like it's inappropriate to even discuss it. You can't have it both ways. You can't leverage your relationship to keep you and your partner together professionally, then claim that relationship is private and off limits for questions. Paige keeps emphasizing professionalism. We've always been professional. We've always conducted ourselves professionally. We're great leaders, but professional environments have policies about workplace relationships precisely because they create complications. Professionalism would be acknowledging that yes, this relationship exists, yes, it might create unique challenges, and here's how we're going to handle that. Instead, Paige is demanding everyone pretend it doesn't affect anything, while simultaneously admitting they've been navigating this dynamic for years. The cognitive dissonance is staggering. In one breath, she's talking about how experienced they are at managing their relationship while being teammates. In the next breath, she's claiming it's nobody's business and refusing to discuss it further. Which is it? Are you experienced professionals who've mastered this dynamic, or is it too private to talk about? You can't claim both. And let's address the elephant in the room that Paige is desperately trying to avoid. The optics of this situation are terrible for Dallas. The Wings finished with the worst record in the WNBA last season. They were 9-31, a complete disaster. They had the #1 pick, their chance to add a franchise-altering talent who could help turn the organization around, and they used it on Paige Bueckers' girlfriend. Now maybe Azzi develops into a star. Maybe this pick looks brilliant in 3 years. But right now, based on college performance and pre-draft evaluations, this looks like a team prioritizing player happiness over winning basketball games. And that's a legitimate story that sports media has every right to cover. Paige's press conference strategy reveals something important about how she views her role and her power within the organization. She thinks she can dictate terms to the media, she thinks she can make a public statement, wag her finger, and everyone will just move on. But that's not how this works. She's not bigger than the story. The relationship between two teammates, one of whom potentially influenced the other's draft position, is newsworthy regardless of whether Paige wants to talk about it. What's particularly frustrating is that Paige had an opportunity here to actually address this maturely. She could have acknowledged the unique situation, explained how she and Azzi plan to handle any challenges, and demonstrated real leadership. Instead, she came across as defensive, evasive, and entitled. The finger wag, the ultimatum, the claim that it's nobody's business while standing at a podium during an official media availability, it all screams someone who knows the situation looks bad and is trying to shut down scrutiny before it intensifies. Think about what message this sends to other WNBA players. If you're a star player, you can pressure your front office to draft your romantic partner and then tell the media to stop asking questions about it. That's not professionalism. That's using your leverage to avoid accountability. And it sets a terrible precedent for how the league handles these situations going forward. The comparison to how other professional leagues handle this is stark. In the NBA, players date celebrities, models, other athletes, but those relationships don't influence roster construction. In the NFL, you don't see quarterbacks demanding their team sign their girlfriend to the practice squad. In Major League Baseball, relationships exist, but they're separate from baseball operations. The WNBA is unique in how intertwined personal relationships and professional decisions have become, and Paige's press conference demonstrates why that's problematic. Here's what's going to happen moving forward. Every time Dallas loses, questions about team chemistry will resurface. Every time Paige or Azzi struggles individually, people will wonder if off-court issues are affecting performance. Every time there's a trade rumor or roster move, this relationship will be part of the conversation. Paige can wag her finger and demand privacy all she wants. She made this public, and now she has to live with the consequences. The most telling moment in that entire press conference is when Paige says they'll use this time to deflect and talk about our teammates. That's not transparency. That's not accountability. That's a pre-planned strategy to avoid answering legitimate questions by pivoting to safe topics. And sports media should absolutely not accept that. When a player tries to deflect, good reporters press harder. They ask follow-ups. They point out the evasion. They do their jobs. So here's my message to every sports journalist who covers the Dallas Wings. Don't let Paige Bueckers dictate your coverage. Don't accept the premise that this relationship is off limits. When Dallas struggles, ask about team dynamics. When chemistry issues appear, ask if personal relationships are affecting professional performance. When trade rumors emerge, ask how the Paige-Azzi relationship factors into roster decisions. Do your jobs, tell the story. Don't let a finger wag and an ultimatum stop you from covering legitimate news. Because at the end of the day, this isn't about invading anyone's privacy. This is about holding a professional sports franchise accountable for decisions that affect their competitiveness. This is about examining whether player relationships are influencing basketball operations in ways that hurt the team. This is about the WNBA's credibility as a legitimate professional league that makes decisions based on merit rather than keeping star players happy. Paige Bueckers can address this once, twice, or never again. But the story isn't going away. The questions aren't going away. And that finger wag, that's not going to age well when this situation inevitably gets messier. So tell me, do you think Azzi Fudd really earned that #1 pick? Or did Dallas draft Paige's girlfriend? Drop your honest thoughts in the comments. Hit subscribe if you want more real talk about the WNBA, and let's see how this situation plays out over the next season.